Kicking off a new series with my favorite. Yeah, guess. Stick around. Hi folks, Old Man Grognard here. Yes, I'm starting a new series. This is mainly for the stuff that's out of print but still good. Here's a few ground rules on these. I'm going to put whatever information I have down there, but as far as like finding them, it's pretty much your, the old reliable eBay, Amazon, things like that. I'll try to give you a price quote if I can find them, as of this recording, of course. But I will put whatever, like I said, whatever info I have is down there. Usually, if it's on PDF, I'll let you know, usually through drive-through or something like that. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, our first book is, of course, the D&D Rules Cyclopædia. Now, you veteran gamers, bear with me, because there's still a couple of new young Turks out there who don't know about this book that like D&D. This is probably my favorite ever version of D&D. In fact, I liked it so much that I got the clone. Bought the company. No, I got the clone, which is Dark Dungeons, which I already did a review of. So I'll put the link to that in the comments too. But this was published in 1991 by TSR. It's TSR number 1071 in case you're playing along. This was written by the late, great Aaron Alston, based on Frank Mentzer's revision of the D&D game in 1983. There were 5 box sets, Basic, Expert, Companion, Masters, Immortals, lovingly known as BECME. Now this one has 4 of the 5 boxes in it. It does not have the Immortals rules because they held back on that for a box set called Wrath of the Immortals to show you how to do immortal level or high level play. It don't bother me none because I don't need it. I never get stuff up that high. So when anybody asks me, I tell them I bend it like Beckham. All right, it's corny, fine. Anyway, this book it's 304 pages of goodness. This is like the entire basic D&D game crammed into 2 hardbound covers. And it was originally intended as a reference guide for, veteran players, experienced players. But me and everybody else I know can play out of this book and have no problem. This is one of my Desert Island books. In fact, it's the Desert Island book for D&D. I could run this D&D for decades with just this book and maybe one other, Creature Catalog, which we'll get in the next episode. Here's mine, of course. You've seen this on the show before. And yes, it is a Rules Cyclopedia. This is what it looks like, hardbound. Okay? So remember that. So when you go look for it, okay? All right. Now let's see what's inside, okay? And my lights seem to be flickering, but that's okay. It's a 3-column setup. Very easy to read. This is one of the classes. And what you're going to find in here is the basics of D&D. Those of you who played D&D or any other iteration of the later D&D, here's some of the peccadillos of that game, of this game versus like modern, say 5th edition, 4th edition, 3rd, whatever. It goes to level 36. You are playing race as class. That means that the only races who have classes are humans. So if you're playing a fighter, a priest, a cleric, a magic user, or a thief, you're human. Or you could play an elf, a dwarf, or a halfling. Those are classes. I don't mind it as much because it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of neat because I played an elf before in this game, and let me tell you, it's fun. Because they kind of break down to like a dwarf is a really tough fighter. A halfling is sort of a not so tough fighter, but sneakier like a thief. And the elf is basically a fighter mage. And let me tell you, they can be powerhouses. They really can. But the trade-off is it takes them a long time to level up. But to me, it's worth it. There are level caps for the demi-humans too. So it's like some are 9, some are 12. That's the first thing I'd throw out is the level caps. I understand how they're doing it, and that may be okay because it's not really a cap. It's more like after a certain level, they only get hit point bumps rather than another hit die. So say at level 12, they get 12 hit die, and 13th level it's 12 plus 2. And next level is 12 plus 3 or something like that. So it's not a real level cap like they have to stop adventuring because they get other pluses for that. And there's also a few abilities they get, I believe, at higher levels. But that's what they call a level cap. And it's okay, it's a level cap. Use it or don't. That's the way I feel about it. They've added a few things. You can actually play a paladin in this game or a druid. What's weird about the paladin and the druid is it doesn't happen right away. You got to play either a fighter or a cleric. And at 9th level, you can choose as a fighter to become a paladin of one of the alignments, which is kind of cool because usually you think of paladins as good, like in AD&D, but you can be a paladin of any of the alignments. And the druid happens at 9th level for clerics if they want to be a druid, So it's kind of weird, but it works. And there's also the mystic class, which put in there. To me, it's like that's Rule Cyclopedia speak for monk, which is okay. I'd have to look at the class a little closer, especially since I found out that it's really fun to play a monk. But I will have to look that over, but it's pretty much the monk substitute. Now, it also has a 3-point alignment, which means you have law, neutrality, and chaos. Those are the 3 alignments, period. Now, I like that. I've seen 5-point alignments in some of the other games, and of course the AD&D 9-point alignment. But it just gets, after a while, it's like too pigeonholed. And what I like about it is it gives you elbow room for a character's moral compass. So you can play a chaotic person who is not evil or a lawful person who is not good. But the players don't need to know that. So I kind of like that. What else do they have in here? They've got a lot of things. Let's take a look at some more of these pages. This is one of the spells and spell casting pages. It's got all the spells for every class in here, all the monsters, all the treasure that you could ever use, but some people still like. You can always use more monsters and more treasure because you just got to keep the players on their toes. This is one of the pages for other character abilities. This is for generating NPCs, I believe. Possibly. No, wait a minute. Oh, I know what this is. This is the weapon mastery rule set. You can actually get better and do more damage as you go, as you gain experience, if you want to use it. It's an optional rule, just like these, which is the skill system. Now, the skill system I like. Skill system works rather well. It's also optional, but weapons mastery is like, we tried it for a while, and it just got to be too much of a pain to keep track because they've got, see these 2 pages in minuscule type sideways in the book, and we didn't even have enough room in our character sheets to put the stuff down. All I want to know is, do I hit harder or maybe faster or maybe more times? That's it. I mean, it's nice to have all these little tricks and traps, and I'm sure I'd use them, but mainly is, do I get more damage? Do I get to swing more once a turn? If you want to use a weapon mastery system, go over to the clone, Dark Dungeons, because they do this, but they don't do it in 2 minuscule pages, and they do it for every single weapon. It's longer, but it's more manageable to me. So I would substitute that. What else do we have? Oh, here's the monsters. The monsters, they all have all the usual suspects are there, from beholders to giants to liches to dragons to you name it, it's there. All in that nice 3-column thing. They do introduce Thaco in this game, which I like, because I am kind of a 2E nerd a bit. And it works just as well here as it does in 2nd edition. I can hear most people say, yeah, not at all. Yes, it does work. Stop it. And monsters, what was weird about the monsters was they talk about Thaco. They talk about Thaco, being this, that, and the other thing, and the greatest thing. And then they don't give the monsters any Thacos. I had to go through in my book and write in pencil each monster's Thaco off the to hit chart they have in there, which was kind of funny. But it was just like, what, you're talking about Thaco and there's no Thaco. What's going on? There's also a good chapter in there about balancing encounters. Now, the formula, once again, the formula leaves something to be desired, because I like the basis of it, but to me it just gets too granular and too much minutia. So I like to, kind of work it out, either work it out in my head or use that as a guideline, because you notice in the monsters here, if you can see it, each monster, if they have special abilities, by their hit dice, you'll see asterisks. That'll tell you how many special abilities this monster has. And those work into balancing the encounter, which is all well and good. You guys know how I feel about balancing encounters. So you can kind of see where I'm going on that. But it's a good try. It is a good try. Here is one of some of the treasure tables. Beautiful tables. They've got all sorts of things in there. They have really good encounter charts for the monsters in this book, Wilderness and Dungeon. But Wilderness, I found a better one in the next book that we're going to do. Oh, also, they introduce you to the world of Mystara, which was basically started in the B series. Remember Keep on the Borderlands? Those kind of things? That's all part of Mystara. I mean, yeah, later on they tried to shoehorn it into Greyhawk, but Mystara was it. And they've got a color section where they got beautiful color maps. Look at that. There's part of Karameikos. It's just beautiful. Plus, and they give you a great overview. I mean, I'll talk about the gazetteers down the road, but if you don't have those, you can extrapolate from this book. Here's a beautiful, that's Mystara. They have another map just like this for the Hollow World, which is the world inside of the planet Mystara. And that's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother box set we can talk about. But it's just beautiful color maps. They give you some variant rules if you want to do. They said if you want to take the level caps away from the demi-humans, you should take away one or more of their special abilities. No. Remember about balancing encounters? I feel the same way about this. If I'm going to remove the level caps, I'm going to remove the level caps, and that's it, and I'll deal with it. I just whether you want to do it one way or the other. One thing in the back, how to convert to 2nd edition D&D, AD&D, which is great since my two biggest things are basic and 2nd edition. Although I do like 1st edition a lot, and I'll play it and things like that. But I played more 2nd edition AD&D when I was younger than anything else as far as Dungeons and Dragons goes. Anyway, yeah, those are, that is the Rules Cyclopedia again, this book. Look for it. You're going to be paying a bit. This originally retailed for $25. luck finding a copy for that price. Mine was given to me by my good friend Mike Stewart. He gave me this, and I'm forever grateful. I've had 3 others. I bought 3 others. People have given me, and I've given them away because I kind of like to pay it forward to people who don't have it. I gave it to a couple of my friends at North Texas. My friend Jimbo, he always said he never had one. We see we have over here when we were playing the RC, my DM Matt made and bound books from the PDF. I'll get to the PDF in a minute. From the PDF, and those were our what I call working copies. Like they had most everything in there. They didn't have like the the planes, about the planes in there, or it didn't have the Mystara stuff, but it had everything else in it. So it's and he said he didn't have one. He's got a working copy. I said, well, here, and I give it to him. And I go out of my way at North Texas to get them signed by like Jeff Easley, who did the cover, Frank Mentzer, whose work this is based on. I'm sorry that I wish Aaron Alston hadn't passed on. I would have loved to get his autograph on here, but hey, that's the way it goes. You can also, drive through, and RPG Now has the PDF for $9.99. And knowing the way TSR, Wizards of the Coast, is going with Drive Through RPG and RPG Now, I would not be surprised in the future, because as of this recording, there is no print on demand for it, but I would not be surprised that they do a print on demand in the near future. So keep your eyes on that. Amazon right now, they're going, I've seen them for about, see, when I bought mine, this one was given to me. But the one or two I bought, I paid about $35 for them. So it's like $10 over cover price, MSRP. But they're going, like all the other, what's old is new classic stuff. It's, it's getting up there. Looking at like right now, Amazon for this book, $67 to $207. eBay, $56 to $105. There's a guy on there right now who's selling it for $119.99 because it's part of a group of an AD&D stuff he's trying to get rid of too. So, like I said, if you can find it for a good price, it's always going to be find it for a good price, get it, because it won't stay that way. I've had great luck at half-price books, and that's because I jumped on stuff. And believe me, if they had this at half-price books for $25 or maybe a little more, I would have grabbed it. So that's the D&D Rules Cyclopedia. Look for it. And I guess we got a new series now, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.